Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is DJ Amacree of Trap Camp ENT, and today we have a new How to Trap. This is actually revisiting the actual last episode, if I believe I'm right or wrong. I don't know, but the one that was basically about Effectrix and just getting a futuristic bass and different ways that different producers like TM88 and FKI and Southside, Metro Boomin, like this, like there are different ways that they approach their 808s and their basic progression and just a few techniques or whatnot, and just a little working on it. So actually have a track pulled up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and switch cams. I'm gonna switch to this screen cam. I almost forgot, but yeah. So I got this track pulled up. Hopefully it'll play 100% right. So in 3, 2, 1, we're gonna listen to it. So it might be loud. So here's a warning: 3, 2, 1, and here we go.
Trap Camp.
Yeah, buddy. So, I'm gonna go ahead and hey, what's up? As you can see, my new A-Town hat here. We're basically gonna talk about a few things, and I'm gonna go ahead and scratch the the actual playlist a little bit so you can see a little bit more of how the project kind of progressed. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but that was kind of the aim of the track, was to let the actual bass kind of change it instead of just having a ton of melodies. But as a result, I believe that the track is more straightforward and more able to get into more writers friendly and whatnot. But yeah, we're not. We're actually here for that. So what we're here for is this. And let me go ahead and highlight the particular area here. So we're here for this part right here. But yeah, so in general, as you can see, I guess I could talk about a little bit of what I did to the bass. The bass itself is, oops, I don't need that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the bass itself is actually coming from The Big Bang Theory. I totally took a different approach. This track is actually I've actually used this track in another example when I was actually talking about press words compressor or dynamic processor. That's what they call it. But it's a compressor with many different views. But yeah, I used Big Bang Theory. This is 6 Godly. It's the actual preset from the bass module. And then something that's not often talked about in different basses or whatnot. Okay, so it's on this channel. It's the wave shaper. Oh, I actually didn't even do anything to the first audible bass, 808. That is. But yeah, wave shaper is a pretty good way to affect your bass. If you do something like that, you automatically see, the asymmetrical distortion to it. So let me go ahead and play that now. It's a little bit more aggressive, which wasn't my aim in particular for that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mute that. That has nothing to do. But this, now revisiting Effectrix, the main thing that I love about Effectrix is that you have many different ways to approach your song without actually having to do more than 1 or 2 melodies. Just by off the strength of you being able to either animate or just even to slap it on a channel, you could, or insert mixer channel, you're able to create many different effects within your composition, because that's how it sounds without it. So it's not. It's a pretty basic bass line. I mean, there's no any pitch or note rotations or compositions in this particular area. But what Effectrix is doing, in a nutshell, and this is actually a preset within Effectrix, at least this part of the bass, is, and that's Beat Painter, which is Beat Painter is, and Beat Painter 2, which is the first category of factory presets 1, and then you just slide down to here. So, but what it's doing in a nutshell, I don't want to mess up this project. There we go. So it added a phaser, which the phaser, if you know about filtering or whatnot, the phaser, you can set the rate, the depth, and the feedback. And what it does is it kind of wobbles the phase from left and right of a particular harmonic. And in this instance, it is a 808. So it kind of gives it a different feel. But if you really look at it, what's giving it is kind of this strange appeal. I'm gonna switch views real quick to screen cam. Bye guys. But yeah, what it's doing in its necessary appeal is, it's just wobbling the vinyl. So I'm gonna mute every instance of it right now. But it's giving it a different texture right there. The vinyl is actually on default, so it's really doing whatever default is, which is just giving it a slower, adding just kind of the artifacts of a vinyl, not anything in particular. I know you have Blame the DJ, which is kind of this effect right here, and let me go ahead and play it. The crusher is adding more distortion, or at least that's what it does in this instance here, which they vintagizer. So I'm guessing it's vintage distortion. And the bit crusher's no bit crushing in this one, but it's actually pushing up the distortion up to like 77.5%, and and there's no attack, so it's not really kind of pumping the bass, but it's just riding off the instance that the actual distortion is asymmetrical, and it's it's enhancing the lows. And also strangely enough, and you really can't hear it. Oh, and then they have it. What parameter do they have? Oh, they have the high pass. Have a high pass reverb within these two sections right here, so you only can hear it in this area, and so this is kind of like it's not doing anything at this point until it reaches this the area that it is. But in an instance, it would, if you could actually, I think you can actually see it. You can see the high pass actually move. So it just gives it a more, the actual track is a more distinctive sound. It's something that those guys that I named at the beginning of this video actually do a lot. It will actually be more apparent to you. Seeing that this week that What a Time to Be Alive was released, and Southside had quite a few tracks where he actually used something about he either used Sugar Bites or Gross Beat, which can accomplish like the scratching bass, or Artillery, which can do the exact scratching bass, which I'm going to talk about next. Now I'm going to go to this part here. So this kind of shows you how the power of Effectrix when it comes to adding different textures to your beat. And it might be here. Yeah, because I did it 16 bar verses. Yeah, I know people these days people usually do. Put this online because it's not drawing correctly. Bazal. But in this particular day and age, most people have 12 bar verses or whatnot. I don't care. I mean, I make music because I enjoy it. People will just hop on it when it comes down to it, and they'll create as it's seen, as it is made by the composer, right? So let me see if I actually, now this particular area I did use the wave shaper, just like I said before. And the Fruity Wave Shaper works just like the same way Camel Crusher works, which I just found out that Camel Crush or Camel Crusher was a free plugin. There's still download links around the internet on the interwebs where you can get it for free, and that's pretty awesome. I'm probably gonna I already downloaded it anyways, but yeah, it was freeware when it was first released. There's a more competent version of it that Camel Audio has released. But yeah, anyways, the Wave Shaper, I just pretty much bent it up. It starts off here, and I bent it up. There's no real true science to it, but what it did in general, if I just turn it off and play this, added just a little bit more distortion to the actual bass. But the real flavor of the month is in this area right here, if you actually listen to it. And Trap Solo, if you're actually watching this video, I did figure out what TM88 did in that particular song, and it was he crushed this area. He crushed it to get that boom, and then he used the vinyl, which was the slow scratch. But as well, that's the one I actually use. I believe you can have it on slow stop, and then you can adjust the time of it, which is in fractions, and what the time intervals will be. In general, it was the most effective way for you to get that boop sound, kind of like that. But yeah, just added basically a scratching effect in there. I can't think of the dang title of the song right now that actually has that, But you can, I literally just worked with the actual adjusting the size to 1/4 to a quarter, so it will actually fit into the actual beat itself. And strangely enough, it's not really scratching or anything during that. But I don't know. It's usually a weird effect that happens when I'm streaming or really just making a YouTube video. Sometimes the effects want to do what the hell they want to do. But yeah, you can actually hear it here. I'm just gonna go ahead and let it play right here. Now, I muted this because there's other things that I wanted to talk about in general, from expanding from that particular standpoint. If you notice that the hats and how they sound very wavery in full, it's because I use the fruity I can't even the fruity flounder effect, which it's basically a preset that I use. I mean, most of this stuff I'm just keeping it simple. That was actually a lesson I was going to teach too. Just keep it simple. So. I'm actually going to do one more. So you can actually hear it. And that's basically how the hats sound originally. If you actually pay attention to this particular mixer insert right here, that's the first hat mixer insert, you actually can see what the flounder is doing as far as stereo separation and kind of indiffering the different transients into different stereo channels. But yeah, it gave it a great flavor. Now, I guess for bonus measures or whatnot, because I will have this, you will be able to download this in the description box. But, I just want to kind of talk about, kind of expand on the Effectrix, the true purpose of Effectrix when we're talking about modern day music in general, as far as adding it to 808s and how it can be particularly powerful. But, just for like kicks and giggles or whatever, and as I wait for it, we talk about compression in general, because I will be expanding on this in later videos, later mixing videos, as far as keeping things simple. So the mix itself is basically simple, and this is actually could be applied even if I just muted that. So that's pretty much the Maximus, and the Maximus the version of it actually has gives the deepness to the kick, and the true reason why that is, why it sounds like that versus the Pressworks one, is because I pushed up the pre-gain just by moving this right here. This is the low. This represents the low. Giving a kick a bigger feel in the mix in general when it comes to the master compression. In the multi-band compressor, this is Maximus once again. It made the track, it made it beat fuller, and just as you see the presence, you actually hear the presence. That's the low end of that, mid end, and it's the high end. One thing I will reflect on is that I actually killed the linear phase filtering, because what I actually learned from messing with Pressworks and just reading more about Pressworks is that works more like DPR, which is kind of meant for like if you have a hard time guessing if you don't work with force feed a lot. And I actually learned that when you force feed, by default Maximus force feeds the signal within the actual compressor, and what it does for aggressive music is it makes it more aggressive. That's why if you look upon here, you see that I had the master volume low, but it's still loud, and it works for the upwards compression. And having the linear phase filter on, it actually calculates the different transients in every part of your master compressor more accurately. However, it kind of kills certain it doesn't help with the gluing of the actual track. So it ends up kind of like being a teensy bit thinner than if you was to roll with not roll with that particular feature in general. So I just ended up not doing it. But anyways, it's free for this FLP will be free for download in there. But but more peculiarly, if that's a word, which it sounds not like it, but more peculiarly, the Pressworks actually works twice as good as Maximus in that presence. Now, I believe it's more or less because it's focusing on one aspect in general instead of just like different aspects of the lows, the mids, and highs. And that's just a matter of opinion. I mean, you could take it the way you want to or whatnot. Ironically, within this one, you can actually hear, because of the way the attack and the release works in this version. In Maximus, if you're working with the release, if you're moving it right this way to the left, you would be adding distortion. In terms of your release in this particular plugin, the more you move to this area, will add more compression and and depending on your ear or what you're trying to aim for in the mix, could either add a more pumpier feel. So if you want your bass to pump a little bit more and kind of just give it like a deeper feel, but it will kill the other transients in the track, like such as the melody or whatnot. I mean, you could aim for that if you want to, or you're not. It's up to you as far as your particular preferences, your personal preferences as far as that goes. But yeah, that's basically it. I kind of talked more about other things in general, just kind of like add on to extra input as far as mixing tracks such as these. But as you can see, the Pressworks is doing a slightly more solid job of gluing the track together, so that it actually feels like it actually has a true presence. Not to say that's not unachievable in Maximus. But then again, it's personal preference. But yeah, that's basically it. If you like this video, give me a like. If you have any questions, ask. By the time everybody sees this, and hopefully I will do it on time, I will have a place where you can request what you want in tutorials on my Facebook page. I highly recommend that everybody does it there instead of doing it in the comment section, because it's a ton of people doing it on every video, and it's kind of hard for me to actually manage that. So I actually tune into my Facebook page more than I do into my comments section, though it's linked to my phone. So I just, just personal preference or whatnot. So, if you have any questions, just ask about this video, and, if this is your first time seeing a video by DJ McCree, hey, by all means, check out other videos and subscribe. I appreciate everybody for the time, and appreciate everybody getting me to 2,000 subscribers. I really appreciate y'all, and I am out.